Hey, what's up, shitheads? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be checking out the PUCKIPUPPY GoldenR that you see here. Now, this is a dual motor, full suspension, fat tire e-bike offering from the nice folks over at PUCKIPUPPY. And today, we're going to go over all the specs and features, and we're going to do the fun part, which is go take this thing on a ride. Without further ado, why don't we just go ahead and get right into it. Come on, guys, let's get going. So here it is. This is the PUCKIPUPPY GoldenR. Now, this thing is available in 5 different colors. You have black and red, navy blue and gray, the gray that you see here, orange, and the camouflage option that you see here. Oh, you get it? It's camouflage. You can't see it. This is a dual motor, full suspension, fat tire e-bike. This is currently listed at $18.99, but you'll have to check the link in the description of this video to see what the current pricing is. But if you use my coupon code, you can save yourself an additional $50 off that price. But anyways, let's go over all the specs and features. So here we are, up close and personal with the PUCKIPUPPY GoldenR. Now, the folks over at PUCKIPUPPY name all their bike models after different dog breeds. At first, I saw PUCKIPUPPY. I thought it was a bit silly, but now that I realize they brand all their bikes after dogs, I think it's kind of cool. It sets them apart. This is the GoldenR, or short for Golden Retriever, although the bike is not golden. So, let's go over all the specs and features, starting right here in the rear. This is a Shimano 7-speed drivetrain with a tourney derailleur, coupled with the Shimano 7-speed shifter that you're going to see on pretty much every single e-bike on the market. Moving right along here, we have a Pro Wheel crankset with the 170mm crank arms, coupled with plastic pedals. These are 26 by 4 inch fat tires and look like they're Black Cat branded. This bike has front and rear brushless geared hub motors, which are rated for 750 watts, for a total peak wattage of 1600 watts, which is what they rate, and a normal wattage of 1250 watts. Integrated into the frame is a 48 volt 20 amp hour battery. It's going to give you just shy of 1,000 watt hours of capacity, which is going to give you roughly, I would say, you could probably get a range of about 40 miles on a battery this size if you're not dipping into the power too heavily. Here we're going to get a look at the rear controller here, which is rated at 20 amps, 48 volt 20 amp controller. A closer look at the rear suspension triangle. Now this is looking pretty beefy, looks nice. Coupled with a rear shock, which is rated at 650 pound spring rate. This is non-adjustable. And PUCKIPUPPY states that this bike has a cargo limit of 400 pounds, which is quite a bit of weight. This battery is also UL 2271 compliant. Up here to the front, we have the same brushless geared 750 watt hub motor in the front, coupled with an adjustable front fork. Over here on the right stanchion, we have our compression adjustment, which you can go all the way to lockout or full open. And on the left stanchion, we can adjust our preload. This bike is equipped with 180mm hydraulic disc brakes, front and rear. And these are Logan branded disc brakes. I've ridden a few bikes that have the same brand of brakes, and I'm a fan. They work very well. One of the things I do enjoy about this bike, just right off the bat, is noticing the frame quality itself. This is a nice looking frame. A lot of these bikes you'll see have what they're called white label bikes, and the frames are almost the same exact frame from manufacturer to manufacturer. This frame is different. It's a nice looking frame. The welds on it look good, high quality welds. I like the finish. I like the integrated frame battery. You have a key here so you can lock or unlock your battery before if you want to remove it using the switch on the bottom. So overall, I like the fit and finish of this bike. And one of my absolute favorite features of this bike is this super comfy big old seat. This bike came with an optional $99 accessory package, which includes these plastic fenders front and rear, a bike lock, air pump, cup holder, rotating phone holder, and this nifty bike bag. How cool is that? As well as some rear view mirrors. So if you guys are interested in the $99 optional accessories package, feel free to order that off the website. So as well as having a payload capacity of 400 pounds, PUCKIPUPPY states that this bike will fit a rider between 5'4" and 6'6". For reference, I'm 6'2", and this is what I look like on the PUCKIPUPPY GoldenR. Man, I really like this seat. Nice and comfortable. Guys, how do I look? Surprisingly, even though this bike is a dual motor bike, has an aluminum frame, it only weighs in at 93 pounds. Now, I've reviewed a number of traditional single motor bikes that weigh more than this. Let's give you a closer look at the cockpit here. We have these nice rubberized grips that have a big platform here for palm support. I like those a lot. We have our single or double motor selector switch right here on the left. So if you want to just use single motor, just have it to the left. And if you want to have a double motor, you can click over here to the right. And believe me, you notice a big difference when you do that. Here's your Logan hydraulic disc brake levers for front and rear. And your nice color LCD screen in the middle. And everybody's absolute favorite Shimano 7-speed shifter, coupled with a thumb throttle over here on the right. Now to turn on the PUCKIPUPPY GoldenR, we're going to come over here and hold the power button for a few seconds, which will turn on the LCD color display in the middle, and it says hello. Well, hello, how are you? Now, this is an interesting LCD display. I haven't seen this on any other bike as of yet, but you see here you have your mile per hour on the left, you have your pedal assist level here on the right, and the toggle between those, you're just going to press up or down, and there's 5 levels to choose from. Your battery gauge is this colored bar here on the left, and it's just kind of weird. It looks like it goes from 0 all the way up to 6. So I'm not really sure why they chose 0 to 6, but nevertheless, there you have it. We have your odometer. I currently have 37.8 miles on here. And it's going to show you if you're in eco mode or strong mode, depending on when you're pedaling, that will change. So if you toggle up to your pedal assist levels, you'll see this little bar on the right here. Let you know just how far along how much business you mean. And this bike also comes with a horn. No, it's not the loudest horn, but I feel like if you see people on the trail, you want to get their attention without being completely obnoxious, this horn is just fine. And to turn on and off your headlight, press the headlight button here, and it'll turn on and off your headlight, as well as your tail light. And the tail light also doubles as a brake indicator. All right, now that we've gone over those boring specs and features, what do you say we do the fun part and take this bad boy, dual motor, full suspension e-bike for a test ride? Come on, guys, let's get going. All right, guys, we are out and about on the PUCKIPUPPY GoldenR. So right away, I can tell you the cadence system on this bike feels pretty smooth. So I'm in PAS 1, and I can already tell you it's 9 miles an hour. I'm already hitting the peak. So PAS 1 looks like it takes you to about 9. PAS 2 is taking you to about 13, 14. PAS 3 is going all the way up to about 20. PAS 4, woo, now we're cooking with gas. Doing about 23 in PAS 4. Okay, PAS 5. Let's see if we can get all the way up to 28. 23, 24, 26. All right, we got to 28. So this is a class 2 bike. 20 miles an hour on the throttle, max speed of 28 pedaling. So if you guys notice, I'm clearly not in my normal location. I'm actually out in Nevada, and I wanted to bring the PUCKIPUPPY GoldenR here because this is a dual motor bike, and this is some of the terrain that I feel like these bikes are going to be definitely best suited for. And what you also probably can't tell, it's about 30 degrees outside right now, so well below my normal cruising temperatures. So let's give the throttle a try here. Okay, definitely got a soft spark. All in PAS 5. But it gets you going. Not gonna win any drag races, that's for sure. We are still in single motor mode right now. And finally at 20. I'm trying the same thing with the dual motor mode here. Oh yeah, definitely feeling them. Increased power there. Oh, we're already at 10, 15, 20. Yeah, so dual motor mode definitely gets you up to speed significantly quicker. So this cadence sensor is nice and smooth. I don't feel like any delays in it. It feels like it gives you the power relatively quick after you press the pedals, which is exactly what I like in a cadence sensor. I also like this colorful LCD display. Gives you all the information you need, speedometer, what pedal assist level you're in. Overall, this bike feels nice and smooth. My hands feel like icicles already. Hi, Mrs. Cow. So I find myself riding around in single motor mode most of the time, just because I don't need to use the extra power and give myself the extra range. And yeah, this is a 20 amp hour battery. This is dual 750 watt motors. It says it peaks about 1600. So, you know, if you're running around in single motor mode on this bike, I bet you could get a range of about 40 miles relatively easy. But I was climbing this up a steep hill yesterday using both motors at full power. And if you're using up the power in both motors, you're going to be able to burn through that relatively quick. Feels nice and stable. I was kind of concerned that the extra weight of the front motor would make a bike feel extremely heavy, but it doesn't. Northern Nevada, this is the landscape you're going to encounter. And I feel like having a dual motor bike in an area like this is a perfect match. Because inevitably you'll be riding along, all of a sudden you'll find yourself in some loose, deeper sand or dirt, and the bike just wants to sink. And when you have the front motor engaged, it'll just try and pull you out of it. So I find it quite useful for situations such as this. Definitely put some flat out in your tires if you're going to do any sorts of riding like this. As a matter of fact, put flat out in your tires regardless of how you're going to be riding. These fat tires are great for a lot of things. This is rough terrain. It's just like you can just feel that front tire gripping for traction. Oh yeah. One of the things that they're the best at is picking up road debris and getting flats. Now I can tell you something right off the bat. This shock, the rear shock here, I'm 245 pounds, plus I have my gear with me. I can tell I'm definitely on the upper end of this shock's weight limit, and there's no adjustability here. So it would be nice to see if they had an adjustable rear shock. At least you can adjust the compression to your liking. That being said, I think if you're on the lighter side of riders, this rear shock will probably be adequate for you. But if you're a heavier rider, you will probably find the shortcomings of this shock sooner than later. The front fork's okay, nothing to write home about. It's gonna suck up bumps, but you're not gonna wanna go on anything too crazy with the suspension this bike has to offer. But if you're cruising stuff like this, it's gonna be fine. Overall, I really like the fit and finish of this frame, the integrated frame battery, the welds on the frame. The frame looks really nice. Traversing off-road, off the beaten path. The bike's having absolutely no problem with any of this stuff, and I'm still in single motor mode. Looks like we're gonna be going over a little bit of softer dirt here, some mud. So you know what? Let's go ahead and flip over into dual motor mode. Dual motor mode activated. You can feel it immediately. It's like it struggles, it starts sinking, but you get it in this dual motor mode and it just starts pulling you crazy. Different sensation for sure when the front motor starts pulling. So far this bike feels nice and solid too, not picking up any wobbles. Riding with no hands right now, which actually comes in handy because my hands are absolute icicles and I need to try and warm them up so I can use them in the future. It's a nice smooth cruising machine. Time to do a little bit of hill climbing on the PUCKIPUPPY GoldenR. Now I feel like this is another reason these dual motors are great. So we're gonna start out here in single motor mode. I'm just gonna put it all the way up to pedal assist 5. Let's see how it does in single motor mode first. Then we'll switch over to dual motors. Let's go ahead and downshift here. Okay, we're getting it going a little bit, but you know what? I can already tell it's time to flip it into full motor mode. Oh yeah, it's weird. It's a different sensation when you feel that front motor kick in. It's like it's pulling you and pushing you at the same time. This is an off-road machine. Now this next section here is pretty steep. Let's see if the PUCKIPUPPY GoldenR is up for the challenge. Let's see if I'm up for the challenge. Okay, here we go. We're going. Oh, the camera's not going to do justice how steep this is. I'm giving it some input with the legs. Bike's doing its part. Look how rough that terrain is, and we made it. Ladies and gentlemen, the PUCKIPUPPY, we came, we saw, we conquered. Give you a close-up of just how rough and rocky this terrain is. The nice thing about the dual motors is it'll split the load between the motors evenly, so it cuts down on heat. You're not going to overheat your single motor. It's going to split it and you're going to have lower temperatures. It's more efficient. Really good for climbing and low traction situations. Well, what fun is going up hills if you're not going to go down, right? This is really rough and loose terrain through here. Suspension's doing its part, picking up some speed. All right. The PUCKIPUPPY. It's time for everyone's favorite part of the video, the brake test. So let's get this bad boy up to speed and see how well it stops. Oh yeah, these Logan disc brakes I have no problem stopping. I've used these on a few other bikes and I really like them. They feel like a nice quality brake. One thing I do notice, the rear on this bike likes to skip a little bit under hard braking, and I think that's due to the rear shock. All in all, the brakes feel nice and solid on this bike and has no problem stopping. All right guys, now we're gonna do what I feel like these dual motor bikes are absolutely set up for, and that is riding in softer off-road stuff, situations such as this. So I've ridden through here before a few times, and it can be deceiving. All of a sudden you'll come through soft patches, your tires start sticking in, the bike will squirm around and it'll like kind of slow you to a halt. But the nice thing is when you have those same situations with a dual motor bike, you switch over your dual motor mode and it'll just keep pulling you through. Really nice to have a dual motor bike in situations like this where you're going to be riding off-road with softer terrain. it just eats the stuff right up. These fat tires do well on this terrain in general, but adding the dual motor capabilities just makes it that much better. So I think if you live in a situation, you live in an area like this, you live on a beach, you live in a place where you're going to be riding over soft terrain, dual motors are going to be awesome for you. Where I live, you know, I live right on mostly asphalt, mostly hard ground. Traction is not really an issue. Dual motor is not going to be as big of a deal for me, but you know, that's why there's a combination of bikes available, guys. Dual motors are great for climbing and they're great for low traction. I'm actually really impressed with this. It's nice. And another thing I'm noticing, this bike is extremely quiet. You can see, you hear a slight hum from the motor, but it's overall, that's it. That's all you really hear. Not hearing any rattles, nothing banging around. Just the sound of these tires traversing over this terrain. So overall, I really like this ride. This is a nice, comfortable ride. Fun, enjoyable, and getting where you need to go. We're not even on a trail anymore. You can just start trailblazing right through the middle, wherever you want. You just get it in dual motor mode. This thing's just like a tank. You just start driving through anything you want. It's pretty fun. This has to be probably the most comfortable seat I've felt for a stock bike. How could this thing be uncomfortable? This is like a bench. It's a big, nice, comfy seat. Also, what I noticed, this bike cruises about 20 miles an hour, relatively easy. Pedal assist 3, single motor mode, going about 18, 19 now, but it cruises at the speed pretty easily. I don't feel like I have to put a ton of effort in, which is nice, because this is my normal cruising cadence right here. Guys, I'm 6'2", and this is what we look like riding around on the PUCKIPUPPY GoldenR. I feel like it's a nice, comfortable seating height for me. I don't worry about getting full extension, although I could put the seat higher, because after all, guys, we are on e-bikes. We're not competing in the Tour de France. I don't worry about getting the full leg extension on these bikes, but overall, I find this to be a nice, comfortable ride for a rider that's 6'2". And have to say, don't we look pretty cool out here as well? We're gonna be the talk of the town on the PUCKIPUPPY GoldenR. Give you a little taste of the horn here. Not the loudest horn, but I feel like this is a good volume if you're riding on bike trails or something. You want to get people's attention without being like obnoxious. PUCKIPUPPY coming through. So we can get going in dual motor mode. Oh yeah, dual motor mode, you have absolutely no problem getting up to higher speeds. 26, 27, 28. There's also a good pedal fill as well. It's not ghost pedaling, but yeah, you can easily get up to 28 miles an hour in dual motor mode, pedal assist 5. Oh, we're doing 29, 30. Breaking land speed records out here on the PUCKIPUPPY GoldenR. It's a whole different animal when you turn on the dual motors. Well, you guys have it. It's the PUCKIPUPPY GoldenR. Some things I really like about this bike. I really like the look of the frame, the integrated battery. I really like having the dual motors. You can turn on and off the front whenever you need it, or wait, whenever you want to. And it has a decent 20 amp hour battery. It should give you plenty of range. And I really like this seat. It's nice and comfortable. Some things I didn't like so much. This is dual suspension. However, at a very minimum, this bike needs a better rear shock, something adjustable that you can adjust to your weight, because me being 245 pounds, I definitely found myself on the upper limit of this rear shock. But overall, I really enjoyed my time on this bike, and if you're interested in purchasing one, you can use the link in the description of this video and use the coupon code to save yourself $50 off that purchase price. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and you know what? We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.